podcast. Yeah. What does that mean?
Oh man, hey dude, that's gross.
Hit it right in the nuts.
Oh man, hey dude, that's gross.
Titus Worldwide.
You can tell Dan has been working out. All about sets and reps.
And we're all about sets and reps here on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about the best pro wrestling in the world. Hello, my name's Tommy Stryker. Joining me is Taco.
What up?
Joe is here as well.
So he was saying sets the whole time?
Sets and reps, yes.
Oh.
just for verification. Yeah.
You can tell Dan has been working out. All about sets and reps.
So those of you that have been exercising with sex and something else, you've been doing it wrong this whole time. No wonder you're out of shape, although...
I feel like you would want to get like a few reps in, though. Like, you know, you want a Dolph Ziggler that shit. You want to go all night.
That's
all night long.
Sure. I don't know how we got off on this foot right away here.
It's a good start.
We try to keep it positive on this podcast, and I suppose talking sex and reps is a good positive thing. We try to spin the negatives into positives, blah, 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 all that. We're going to talk Raw, SmackDown. We got some Royal Rumble stuff coming up. We got the Royal Rumble coming up in a couple of weeks. Or like 3 weeks, actually. We got the big Raw 25th anniversary in a couple of weeks.
Is that 5 hours long?
That is not.
It was just a spread rumor.
Correct. That was. I don't know. I don't even know how that thing got started. But yeah, I saw something about that. I was like, "There's no way they're going to do a 5-hour."
With how many people they've been announcing for it?
I don't care how many people you.
It's 3 hours long already.
That's true.
Right, exactly. But yeah, they have been announcing a lot of people for that. So, well, let's jump before we get into Raw and SmackDown, NXT. Let's talk a little bit of the new. No, fuck that. Hang on, hold the phone.
Everything.
Before we talk news, I want to talk a little bit of local stuff because Taco and I went to Wrestlepalooza last week. First Wrestling. It's kind of our version here in Minneapolis of like a PWG out in California, or a bar wrestling in California, or AAW out of Chicago. It's kind of our super indie with all the big local guys, but as well they bring in some national talent. Colt Cabana they brought in All Ego Ethan Page, Candice LeRae, Chucky T was there. Really fun show.
Shane Strickland.
Yeah, Shane Strickland, of course. It was fun. I got to talk to him a little bit. I was a little shy. I wanted to go talk to Colt Cabana, but I was like, I don't really have money to buy any of his stuff, and I don't want to bother the guy. He flew straight from Japan to Minneapolis. He didn't have time to go home to Chicago first, so that was really cool of him to do that, to make it to the show in Minneapolis.
Sure.
And a fun show, a cool atmosphere.
It's one big party, man.
Right. if you can imagine a wrestling show in a nightclub, that's what First Wrestling
Legendary
is.
Princess First Ave.
Yep, at First Ave. So a really cool atmosphere, fun place. I mean, they got a band playing after every few matches. They got burlesque dancers and stuff too. So yeah, a lot of fun, cool show. So I wanted to talk about that real quick. How about Chucky T having the intergender match with Candice LeRae?
Yeah, that was a great time. Like, he instantly just came out, grabbed the microphone. He's like, I can't do this. I can't. My mama raised me that I ain't no gentleman if I lay a hand on a woman. Well, she never say anything about my feet, and then just booted her right in the face. And like the whole match, though, he was just laying into her with his feet and holding his hands in there like, no hands, I'm a gentleman. So it was
He's the Kentucky gentleman.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of fun. Okay, let's we're gonna get into the news here, but spoiler alert if you're an Impact follower. Of course, we haven't talked a ton of Impact on this show. Maybe by design, maybe not, but I mean, it hasn't really been worth talking about a ton this year. But we got a couple of spoilers we're gonna get to in here in the news before we get to Raw and SmackDown.
Quite a bit of news for you. News.
So you want to avoid the spoilers, just skip ahead a few minutes here or whatever. But so yeah, let's get into a little bit of Impact. They had some TV tapings this week. Back to the square ring, the normal 4-sided ring. A lot of people have been clamoring for that. They think the 6-sided ring was a little gimmicky. So they're back to a regular ring. And then go ahead, Taka. What's the big news out of Impact that happened at the TV tapings?
I guess you just I don't know what the situation was, but Austin Aries made his big return to Impact, and he is now the heavyweight champ.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Not in wrestling gear. Eli Drake was in his street clothes too, so it's like...
So it was versus...
Sounds very Impact-ish.
Eli Drake. Well, no, here's the thing, though. So, I mean, Austin Aries is really an international star, especially after that recent run in WWE. So I think it's smart to put it on a guy that has that credibility right away. And I think I like that Don Callis is coming in as an executive here now, making some decisions and going away from things like the six-sided ring and probably quite likely getting rid of the Grand Championship. And he's planning on getting...
That was defended too, I guess. No judges, none of that stuff, just straight
just
match.
A regular match.
I don't know the outcome of it.
They'll probably have some sort of unification. But I like what Don has talked about on his podcast and around some other places about just taking Impact in a new direction that makes some more sense. Not signing talent to big contracts, but allowing talent to come in and be their own, just be themselves and get over and use their own gimmick and not own anybody's gimmick. Because let's be honest, TNA is like a low indie right now. Yeah, they get national TV and some international TV.
You're lower than Ring of Honor right now.
Correct. Yeah, Ring of Honor business-wise has blown them out of the water for probably the past 5 years. Impact hasn't made money like fucking forever. So,
yeah, but how could you waste that opportunity to show off Austin Aries' package?
Exactly.
It's a good move putting it on him right away, but they need to kind of step away from this motto of Del Rio comes and put the title on him,
yes.
Low Key comes and put the title on him. You have someone that had has this big hype going around on him right now, and in the sense of like Del Rio or Low Key, it makes more sense to kind of throw it on there, try to get that attention on your eyes. But you're kind of in that rebuild phase, so why wouldn't you advertise that Austin Aries made his triumphant return to Impact, and you have a big championship match next week?
I kind of agree with that.
To me, they weren't even in their wrestling gear when he won it, though. That's my beef. There was nothing there. It's just he won their championship against in street clothes on his return.
Well, let's be fair here. Okay, it is a TV taping that we haven't seen yet, so we have absolutely no context.
It's true.
We don't know how it was done. What was my other point? Fuck. God damn it, I had 2 or 3 things there, but I lost them. But yeah, we haven't seen it, so we don't know how it was done.
I could be very wrong about this right now.
True.
I was going to say, fuck.
Yeah, fuck.
Okay. So, again, the surprise element that you brought up about why not advertise it ahead, I think doing this is gaining headlines. The fact that we're talking about it on this podcast is something right there. So, the fact that people are talking about it, I think, is going to get people to tune in. Now, it's up to them what they do with the people that do tune in. I remember Impact has done things over the past few years that you hear about something that they do. Okay, I'm going to tune in. I want to see what they do with this. And then they continue, you tune in. Okay, yep, they're just still TNA. It's still the same stuff. So if they make a concerted effort to do shit that's not the standard TNA, not your standard Impact Wrestling, I think that's important to do.
Well, one of the big banners too on the side of the 4-sided Impact ring was Twitch, and they've been killing it with the wrestling community lately.
Right.
The
House of
Wrestle
Hardcore
Circus should be coming back soon. I know they have some big news coming up. House of Hardcore is having their stuff on there, so it's like, fuck yeah, get Impact on there. Get a little wrestling community on there. That's the way to do it. And Impact, don't be chasing down the networks right now. That's not in your league. That you should not be thinking about. I
think the Twitch thing is smart, especially if it's their TV show on there. If they can monetize that, that's something that Don Callis has talked about from the beginning. How can we make money from this? He is a business guy.
He's comfortable with your shit again.
He's not in this to have. I mean, he's in it to have fun and everything, but he's also in it to make money. He's a business guy, so he's not going to fuck around and have this shitty pop TV deal that doesn't make them any money.
He sees how the online successes work with New Japan right now, so it's like, why would you run away from that?
Yeah, so I'm intrigued by the Twitch thing, so hopefully we can get the TV show on there, and I can actually watch it, because I don't have Pop TV at the moment. I'm rocking
What is Twitch?
Twitch it's like
it's an online
it's like YouTube for video games.
So you can watch like Kenny Omega play Xavier Woods and Street Fighter in a sense, and people pay them to watch these bouts basically.
But you can stream live on there, and that's why all these wrestling companies have gotten in on it, because you can monetize it. Whereas like YouTube has been notorious over the last few months about dialing back being able to monetize professional wrestling on YouTube.
And Twitch is pretty open with their content. You know, they kind of believe in that freedom, and it's a smart choice, especially since Twitch is part of Amazon. You get that part of your Amazon Prime subscription, so it's like, so it's just like,
and I don't think
you got that big of a powerhouse backing you up in a sense.
And I don't think you have to have an Amazon Prime subscription.
You don't. I think it's about $10 a month regardless, but at the same time, you could put that $10 towards Amazon and get so much more.
I know there's free stuff on Twitch too, because
you could watch, like, I remember, sorry to cut you off, but I remember with like Wrestle Circus, you would be able to watch it for free as the event was on live, but if you missed it and you wanted to go back and watch it, you had to be a subscriber to Twitch.
Sure. Well, that'll be really interesting to see how that all works out with this Impact thing, because I'm intrigued. I want to check, and obviously there's ways you can see things too. So I definitely want to check out this new Impact, this new vision once it's available, and see what it's all about. So
there's even a app. I'm sure it's on other streaming devices out there, but I use the Apple TV 4, and they have it's Comet TV, I think it is, and there's like a whole channel, Mystery Science Theater channel, and Impact has their own channel on there, so it's like, capitalize on this stuff. Like, it's such a no-name network. You can get those eyeballs on there because everyone's looking for a free Crackle service to download, so you can watch Joe Dirt too, kind of. But
no one is doing that.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. All right, let's move away from Impact now. We didn't talk about it all yet. Wrestle Kingdom on this show, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, but you got to check out Strong Honor this week. We spent an hour talking about everything that happened at Wrestle Kingdom. I can't believe we talked Impact before New Japan on this show.
We just got to get out of the way.
A week after,
we're just so excited to have some
Kingdom.
Positive news.
Yeah. It's funny. Well, the three of us did spend time a whole hour talking, a whole podcast talking New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom 12, the fallout from New Year's Dash, what's coming up at the New Beginning show. So you can check that out on Strong Honor. Go to stronghonor.com or bestprowrestlingpodcast.com. But really quickly, just in case people are curious if they haven't checked out Strong Honor, let's just the event in general. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a great show. I didn't think it was as good as Wrestle Kingdom 11, but it was great in its own way and told great stories throughout, and a lot of feel-good wins if you follow New Japan. And even if you don't, I think it's a great introduction into what New Japan is.
Yeah, so I give it a solid A-. I mean, I'm not going to give it the, I don't know if I've actually watched all of Wrestle Kingdom 11, but just from the few matches that I have seen from Wrestle Kingdom 11, I mean, it seemed like it was more of a wrestling match. I think Taco said it before. It became a spectacle this year, which isn't a bad thing. They upped their production, they upped the cameras, they upped everything just to make it look that much better. So I think, absolutely watch Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Well, especially like you look at last year's, and it was a lot of straight matches, and you look at this year's, and something like a Fatal 4-Way actually sticks out, and it's interesting. Or even the hair versus hair match. It was all like, a couple people were over, and there were some matches like, I probably should fast forward. It's a 6-hour event, and we all gotta be up early the next day, but I'm glad I didn't fast forward any of the matches.
Yeah, it was hard to skip anything. Even that crazy gauntlet match that was like, let's just jam everybody in there. It was entertaining. It was fun to watch. Even the Rumble, the pre-show Rumble was very entertaining, fun to watch. So it took me 2 nights to watch it, and then because we went to Wrestlepalooza, I had to watch New Year's Dash on Sunday. I was behind on everything. Finally got caught up on stuff today. It's just way too much shit to watch. It's just been insane.
It was such a good wrestling week.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump into Monday Night Raw here.
Change the subject. Monday Night Raw.
funny. Our little sounder there playing the old classic Monday Night Raw theme is kind of coming into play a little more and more as we get closer to the 25th anniversary. I saw that there was a video that they put out with the old music, but with all the new wrestlers on there, and so it's been a lot of fun the way they've been hyping up this 25th anniversary for Monday Night Raw. I talked about it last week. This idea that maybe John Cena could be facing, I don't know, maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin. Turns out the Rattlesnake's going to be showing up at the 25th anniversary. The fucking Dudleys are going to be at the
Brother Love.
Brother Love. Well, I mean, fucking the Dudleys.
Sean P. Diddy Combs is going to be there.
Bubba Ray just had his, quote unquote retirement deal in Ring of Honor, where he left his boots in the ring after the match with the Briscoes, and he's been on the retirement tour the entire, second half of 2018. So it'll be interesting to see if he does any actual wrestling or if he just makes an
gets
appearance.
One last table in.
Well, he was supposed to. That was supposed to be the last table he ever broke in Chicago when he handed the piece of the table to the kid. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. But yeah,
with Devon.
Well, that's the thing is, I think Devon's been retired. So I mean, that's
he's been doing that road shit.
That road shit
with the WWE. He's a road agent now.
Oh, okay. There you go. So yeah, he'll be there for sure. And then lots of other fun stars have been talked about. Of course, The Undertaker. We talked about that as a potential WrestleMania opponent for John Cena. So we're looking forward to that in a couple weeks. So this week, Raw. We had more of the Brock Lesnar stuff with Kane attacking. Then Strowman attacks him in the back and pulls down the scaffolding to nowhere on top of
Grapples first try.
What's that?
Uses that grappling hook the first fucking try. First swoop in. He was like, I swear, like his dad is like amazing baseball player and Batman.
Of all things I never thought I would see in pro wrestling, a grappling hook was probably pretty high on that list.
It's not the fact that he grabbed a grappling hook, it's the fact that he like almost found it immediately. It was like, right, grappling hook, this is exactly what I needed.
I like to think that Braun Strowman was just like, I need to destroy both of these guys hard, really bad right now, looks down, sees a grappling hook, and all of a sudden the Braun Strowman gears start grinding, and he looks up, why is this giant scaffolding to nowhere here? I know, superhero, fucking swing the grappling hook. I can't believe I saw an actual grappling hook thrown and hooked around a thing, and he fucking pulled it down. I've never seen a grappling hook in my fucking life. Where did he even get a grappling hook?
I would have loved Paul Heyman in the background being like, who breaks a grappling hook?
Well, that was one of the great things about it too, was like Paul Heyman selling the whole thing. Oh my god, it was phenomenal. That's
why Braun and Bliss is going to be the best team of the mixed match challenge.
Yeah, we'll get into some mixed match challenge. That's coming up. That starts next week on Facebook Live. You ever watch anything on Facebook Live?
Nope.
I don't even know how to do it. So, but there's videos on that too.
Pretty much, you just go to whatever.
I'm sure
have a mixed match challenge page. You go there and they'll post it.
Yeah. So
you sound like you Facebook before.
I use the Facebook every once in a while.
The Facebook.
Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Anyway, the Balor Club took on Roman, Rollins, and Jason Jordan in a match.
Very cool.
This was Jason Jordan is such a good fucking heel. Oh my god, like I didn't think I would be that into it, but so Roman's out there cutting his promo or whatever. Jason Jordan comes out, he's fucking trying to give him the fist bump. Like Jason Jordan just wants me. He evokes this emotion. Like, I want to see Roman beat him up. I want to see Rollins beat him up. I want to see the Balor Club beat him up.
He's a dork. He's dorky like Kurt Angle was. It's so perfect.
Right, geeks.
Yeah, when the Balor Club come out and call Jason Jordan a nerd, I feel like even Roman and Rollins are like, yeah, he's a big fucking nerd.
Definitely.
So I loved all that. I loved how he fucking gets clumsy and gets in the way display it in the match, so the ref doesn't see the tag. That leads to them losing the match and the Balor Club getting the win. Jason Jordan's just fucking killing it right now. Well, then we had the whole Miz TV thing tied into this too. Now that Miz is back,
Big ol' pop.
wants his Intercontinental title back. Part of me, you guys know me, I'm such a mark for heels. Like when he comes back and he's talking about, I've had this prestigious Intercontinental title reign, and I want to get the title back so I can bring prestige to the title once again. You know, the mark in me is like, no, you don't bring any prestige. You fucking cheat to win all the time with the Miz Taraj and blah 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 blah. But the Miz, very entertaining on the mic, selling all of that. So,
well, even coming back with a goal with the Intercontinental title too was really awesome to see that he wants to go for that number one spot of longest reign or whatever. So I did like that he came back with intention this time.
Yeah.
Did either of you see the selfie he posted with Maurice?
No.
Just big old pregnancy boobs.
Okay.
Oh, man, dude,
man.
that's gross.
You gotta look at the comments on it because it just.
I
gets
am not
worse
going to look at those
as you
comments.
Go down.
I am not.
It's just amazing.
I am not looking at those.
Oh, come on!
What else?
He posted it on purpose.
I don't get it.
I'm not. Hold on. Let's. We want this one here. No.
Listen.
What I said was, stop talking.
I'm not looking at pregnancy boobs comments. That is not. That's
It's
no
the best.
No.
Oh, man, dude, that's gross.
Okay.
I'm biting my lip on this one.
I'm guessing you made a comment then. Where were we again? Oh, Miz going after the IC. I did like how he's like, I let Roman have the Intercontinental title in my absence while I was working on a movie. Then he talks about this reality show thing, this unscripted show that's going to be on USA.
Miz and Mrs.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting there. But we're going to get Miz versus Roman for the IC title on the 25th anniversary show in a couple weeks. So
nice.
Cool stuff there. Matt Hardy versus Kurt Hawkins. We had the in-ring debut of Broken Matt Hardy. I like they got the piano music going.
Except for the same fucking stage.
Oh, yeah. They
took me out of it. It's like, come on.
Yeah, they did fuck up the Tron, and Matt Hardy tweeted about it too. Like, I don't remember what it was, but it was him all, being the broken woken thing. The Tron of whatever. I can't even remember what it was, but he tweeted about how the Tron was fucked up. So, I want to see what the Tron was supposed to be now, because that's probably
an elegant keyboard to come down, or I don't know.
But after
dilapidated boat that he walks on,
right. Matt Hardy won the match, of course, but then Wyatt confronted him, and they had a face-off and a long laugh-off that went on entirely too long, even on the YouTube clip that I watched of
I'm
it.
so not mad at this laugh shit. Like,
I'm with Taco 100%.
People are getting so mad about, but think about like the broken Matt Hardy shit when it first started coming out. Everyone's like, what the fuck is he doing? He's finally lost it, but you couldn't stop watching it.
Right.
It's like, you can't give it all to us right away, otherwise we're gonna be like, oh, fucking WWE fashion. Nah, they're building it up. We got Royal Rumble, we got fucking mixed match challenge happening right now. Let them get that shit out of the way. Woken's gonna come. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're doing it a lot slower than what Impact did it, and I think that's frustrating a lot of people. But for the people that aren't familiar with it, I think that's what they're doing. They're taking it slow, building up to it. They're going to have
he just got his music.
Right, they're going to have a confrontation at the Royal Rumble. They're probably going to stretch this thing all the way to WrestleMania. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see. Enzo versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title. We finally got the match, but we got a count-out finish. Cedric Alexander gets the win, but Enzo keeps the championship. He gets busted open in the match. He sells his knee after Alexander does the big dive to the floor. That ended up contributing to the count-out victory for Alexander. So Enzo's selling in the back. Doctor's checking out his knee, getting his cut all stitched up, and Nia Jax comes to check on Enzo, which was a nice touch there. So the big question
is Nia Jax a cruiserweight?
So, but so I don't know. I liked the match between these two. I like that. I don't like the finish, but again, it feels like they're just stretching this out to either build up to the Royal Rumble. I don't know.
I don't know if this was planned or not, but I kind of like the finish more now because after Raw they had that that new Corey Graves show where he just kind of sits back there with them and interviews with them. And
I got to check that out.
God damn, Enzo is just such a dick the whole time, just eating an apple, fucking accidentally spitting it on Corey Graves. Like, they're just, you could tell they're just like fucking just like, I want to smack the shit out of each other. They're taking each other's jabs, but he brings up the comments he said about Big Cass and everything, and then he got some footage of Big Cass right after or before or after his surgery, and he was like, man, it was hard. Like both times when Cass got injured, I'm carrying him up and down the stairs, and I get injured, and he's running his mouth about me like some fucking bitch. He's like, I'm done with that dude, and and Enzo's pretty much like, yeah, I mean what I said about him. Like, you need to finish your match. You're in this business. Like, he's like, you see me get thrown around. You saw my shit I did with Rusev, this and that, and I still show up, and it's part of the game. You need to finish your matches, and then it happens on Raw. So it's like, I don't know if they planned that but
they definitely planned the knee injury part of it or whatever, where he takes the count out. But obviously, I don't think they planned him getting busted open and bleeding.
Yeah, but just like him saying that on that Corey Graves stuff, and now us talking about it's like, oh god damn, it makes him even more of a good heel.
And it's working too. I see people online talking about fuck Enzo, fuck this guy, and thinking that there's real heat between him and Cass. So it's just when you work it right. I mean, obviously the whole Jericho and Omega thing is proof in the pudding that you can work the internet, you can work Twitter, you can work and please, as a wrestling fan, work me, make me believe, because that's when the stories are the most fun. So that
I'm digging this asshole heel Enzo shit.
Yeah. That's all he's got. He can't work in the ring, so I mean, you might as well run your mouth. Please be a piece of shit.
Fake it like
that's what you're great at. Exactly.
That's part of the business, and he's earning his keep. And yeah, I definitely recommend that interview though.
I got to check that out for sure. Yeah,
I haven't either.
Nia attacks Asuka despite not buying that Alexa said that Asuka said some ill shit about here. I had to Nia like, do you speak Japanese? Like, no. Well, Asuka doesn't speak English, even though she's cutting English promos a little bit here and there. But I like that whole interaction between Alexa and Nia before Nia went out and beat up Asuka, even though it didn't quite make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't buy what you're saying, but I'll go beat her up anyway. So, that was that. The Bar took on Titus Worldwide. Where did he go? There he is.
Titus Worldwide!
For all the heat we used to give, or all the shit that we used to talk about fast forwarding through fucking Titus's shit, that was the noise that my remote control used to make every time Titus came on the screen. Now I'm fucking tuned in. I'm like, dude, give me more Titus Worldwide. I need to see
Worldwide.
Fucking Dana Brooke taking stats.
I'm not even mad at her, man.
They're getting excited about shit. Fucking.
The only thing I miss is Tozawa.
Where's Tozawa in the thing?
I think he got injured.
That's probably why. But Clinton Dix teaming up with Nia Jax in the mixed match challenge. Apollo
Crews, yes.
Yeah. The whole Titus Worldwide getting excited about it, and Nia just fucking knows something like, oh God, help us. Like, I love the whole thing. I love Titus just being hype about everything. We did have the match where Titus Worldwide beat the Bar on TV, which was obnoxious. Like, I didn't, as a fan of the Bar, I'm like, what the fuck? The Bar have a tag team championship match coming up at the Royal Rumble, and so with Titus Worldwide beating them and going apeshit crazy, I've become a fan of Titus Worldwide. This whole bit with them and it's been more the stuff kind of like, not on TV. It's been like the raw Fallout videos and shit backstage, like the unscripted stuff that's been the best.
That's been the best part for a lot of wrestlers, though, too. Yeah.
Like a Mojo Rawley and stuff.
Mojo, Baron Corbin, a lot of guys I kind of want to dog on, and they're cutting these backstage off the hook promos, and not to beat a dead horse, but someone I kind of want to root for, like a Ty Dillinger, and he ain't seen shit.
Right, exactly. Yep, there you go. So what do you think of Titus Worldwide beating the Bar with a roll-up? I mean, the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the schoolboy roll-up. Do they get added to the match, make it a three-way at the Royal Rumble? Do they have a number one contender off on the road to the Royal Rumble, or do they just come into play afterwards?
I think they'll even just come into play beforehand. They might even just randomly give them a shot in the sense on Raw. maybe not for the 25th anniversary, but you've got another show in there. I'd say just get it out of the way. Maybe give them a shot and have them not win the titles, because I don't think they're going to win the titles right now. But it's a good way to build them up. Like, get them out there, get them, get them a win.
Yeah, I like the win. It's a good way to kind of get a tag team, kind of make them a tag team. It's kind of like the Rusev Day setup, where you got them a good win, kind of made them a respectable tag team, and now they can tag for a little bit. Let's get a tag team. Let's get these guys a little bit going. Let's get them strong a little bit. So get a couple pinfalls. I don't know about the title spot yet, but they got a pinfall. Well, I guess they were the champs, though. So
they beat the former champs who are getting a title shot. So if the Bar become champions again, certainly Titus Worldwide should have an opportunity
Worldwide
for the championship.
But where I was going was like, it's good to kind of get like a tag team like this in a higher spot for to have someone else like the Revival to come in, so they can kind of jump over these guys.
There you go.
Bit.
I forgot about the Revival.
So you have
back
a respectful
too.
win when they kind of get back into the main picture spots. You're not automatically throwing them to the Bar. You can actually get that slow build in there.
So remember, when Titus Worldwide come on, don't fast forward. Make sure you rewind and watch that shit. All right, let's talk some SmackDown, shall we?
The subject. Smackdown Live.
I can be a superhero.
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Secret.
So AJ's going back on his word. He said, last week he said, "Oh, come on, give me a handicap match." And Daniel Bryan makes a handicap match for the championship at the Royal Rumble. And now he's like, I was being sarcastic. I didn't want a handicap match for the champion. They're going to be co-champion. What is that? So
This is bad booking.
yeah, there's a right. He said, this is bad booking. We can't do this garbage. So that was a fun little moment there. So Daniel Bryan, it's funny because he's kind of doing heelish stuff, but still doesn't feel like a heel, right? Yeah. Or is that just me?
No, I'm with you 100%. It's like he's like only a quarter of the way heel. He's like just dipping his toe into the pond, kind of getting an idea, but like he's not making the full change, and he's not making any more transitions. He just pecks at you a little bit.
Because, I mean, he made that match with Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. They demanded justice for the debacle with the referees last week, with the first referee making the bad call with the illegal guys in the ring, then the second referee coming out. So they bitched about that. Daniel Bryan said, okay, we'll have it a 2 out of 3 falls match, because, again, Gable sarcastically said, well, what do you want us to beat him twice in one night? So apparently even saying something sarcastically is going to get that. Daniel Bryan thinks sarcasm is a fantastic booking tool, and so he makes a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Royal Rumble. Shane comes in a little later, and he says, Daniel, what are you doing? Making a 2 out of 3? They lost the match. Why do they deserve a 2 out of 3 falls match? Well, they said they could beat them twice in one night. Well, we got to have an opponent for them at the Royal Rumble. And of course, Shane was upset about the co-champions possibility between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens facing AJ as well. So I can actually see the babyface side of Shane's argument, but I'm still behind Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I like a good 2 out of 3 falls match. Here's my problem, right? Royal Rumble. We got 2 Royal Rumble matches. Those are going to be allegedly hour-long matches if they do the typical 2 minutes between entrances of people coming out. So that, doing the math, is an hour match at least for both matches. Now we know WWE likes to, quote, work the times of the intervals of those 2-minute intervals of people coming out for those matches. So there's a possibility of some shorter stuff there. But we got that. We got the AJ Styles handicap match. We got a 2 out of 3 falls tag team match. We got another tag team title match on the Raw side. We got a women's title match, I believe, going on. No, I guess not. We don't have either women's title match, but we got a bunch of undercard matches that are starting to build up here, including a goddamn 2 out of 3 falls match. This Royal Rumble is going to be way too long, I fear. What are your thoughts?
We say that every pay-per-view.
Oh, that's true.
It's about pacing, though.
Exactly right.
I mean, Christ, look at Wrestle Kingdom. That was fucking 6 hours long, and I was dreading that, and I wanted more.
Amazing.
Well, we talked about this over on the Strong Honor, too. Royal Rumble weekend. We got the Rumble on Sunday, TakeOver on Saturday, and we've got the 2 New Japan New Beginning shows also on those same Saturday and Sundays. So it's going to be a packed weekend of wrestling to watch. So you might be picking and choosing and doing some fast forwarding. Especially on them New Japan multi-man undercards, if you know what I'm saying. So Natalya and Nakamura are teaming up for the mixed match challenge that was revealed here on SmackDown. Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley in the U.S. title tournament. Mojo Rawley got a pretty predictable win here with the running fist. He'll face Bobby Roode in the next round, and Jinder is going to take on Xavier Woods next week. We talked about this.
Xavier to win so bad.
I know, and here's the thing that we haven't really talked about yet too is Dolph Ziggler plays into this somehow. He won the U.S. title, dropped it immediately, and he's been gone. So what if Woods goes all the way, and then here comes Dolph Ziggler waltzing back into the situation, only to, I don't know, defeat him on the following SmackDown. So he drops the title, goes away, they have this big prestigious tournament that they have over a number of weeks, and then Dolph waltzes right back in and takes it right away from him. I think that's something that WWE would definitely do. It's very Vince Russo, of course, but you never know. But I don't know. What do you think? Is Dolph Ziggler coming back into it? Do you want to see Xavier Woods win just to lose it back? Or am I wrong? Is Dolph Ziggler not coming back into this, and we're just going to get whoever's winning it with probably one of the popular choices like Rude or Jinder Mahal? What are your guys?
Jinder's a popular choice?
Well, I think not amongst fans, but amongst prognosticators that, though, they're probably going to put the U.S. title on it, Jinder, being that does the anti-USA gimmick, because that's what they do.
Well, especially with him coming off that championship run, it kind of makes more sense to put Jinder in that picture with the United States title and put it on him just to keep that build on him in a sense for when they still want to keep him a major threat. I don't want it. I'm kind of sick of seeing him in the title picture. I'm with you. I want to see Xavier Woods with this. I want this surprise victory out of this.
Yeah, that'd be a lot more fun anyway. Becky Lynch took on Ruby Riott in a singles match, a standard TV match. Becky Lynch won with the disarmor. Does this take anything away from Ruby Riott, or just because it's a standard TV match, it doesn't really matter? Becky Lynch coming back after being off of TV for a while kind of needs a win.
She does, but didn't Riott just fucking beat Charlotte a couple weeks ago? Like, if I remember correctly,
it was Natalya.
Was it Natalya?
I think it was. Yeah,
I thought Ruby Riott had a win over Charlotte.
I don't think it was Charlotte. I think it was Natalya.
Okay,
and it was
Tommy.
It was really quick, and there was tons of interference because they're building up to the Women's Royal Rumble, and the winner of the Rumble takes on Charlotte, who's the champ. Charlotte's the champion, so they're not going to job the champion out in a 2-minute shit show. But they did want to get Ruby Riott's finisher over. She beat Natalya in a fluky, crazy, schmozzy win.
Well, and I think that's why they're not having a women's title match, at least SmackDown-wise, is I believe
because
Charlotte,
all the women are in the Rumble.
I believe Charlotte's in the Rumble, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I've always
Charlotte
wanted to see someone run the table, even though they have the title.
Well, Charlotte's not in the Rumble because she has the title. Neither Charlotte or Bliss are in the Rumble.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Bludgeon Brothers took on the Ascension finally. They won with a power bomb. They hit the up is down, down is up to the other Ascension member who didn't get pinned after the match. So the Bludgeon Brothers just continue their dominance. Not much to talk about there. Breezango did beat Rusev Day though, so we got a big win for Breezango, kind of out of nowhere. I don't know. I wasn't sure how to feel about this.
Over Rusev too,
right? It was over Rusev again with the most devastating move in sports entertainment, the schoolboy roll up. So plausible deniability on the flukiness of a finish there. So we'll get a comeback match at some point in some form or fashion.
Well, I'm just hoping they do something a little bit with them because again, Breezango had that one impromptu match with the Usos on SmackDown had a pretty decent showing in it. Not, nothing like out of the park, but they had a decent showing. And then it's just been Fashion Files. There hasn't been any matches except for them getting fucking beaten by the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm hoping this is even just a small bit of a slow build to at least give them a chance and, build up another tag team in their division.
I thought it would have been nice to have the Ascension be a little more competitive in this match.
Especially with their streak in NXT and how dominant they look and were.
Well, I mean, we're miles away from that at this point. But if obviously the Bludgeon Brothers have come in hard and hot, and to have the Ascension come in and show a little bit more of an effort with the Bludgeon Brothers, I think would help the Ascension a little bit. But again, they're just trying to put all the steam behind the Bludgeon Brothers right now. So it kind of is what it is. The big main event was the AJ, Randy Orton, and Nakamura versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. The handicap on the favor of the babyfaces match up. This was another
insanely stupid.
A bunch of crap happening, and Shane restarting the match several times. Shane
progresses the story, but that's all it did for me.
Shane makes it a no count out match when one of them gets counted out. Kevin Owens gets intentionally DQ'd when he uses a chair, and so Shane comes out and makes
this matchup is now no count out, no disqualification, and anything goes.
And so if you've been listening to this show for a while, you're familiar with our Lucha Underground soundbite, and I have since updated it. So
this matchup is now anything goes.
So there's that. So yeah, it was silliness with the restarting and whatnot. It was Shane's way of kind of getting back at Daniel Bryan or something. But it didn't really. Babyfaces ended up winning with Nakamura getting the Kinshasa and the RKO over Sami Zayn after AJ chases Kevin Owens out of there with a chair. So
I don't know why, but I get so much pleasure out of Randy Orton and Nakamura being a team together. Like, they're just oddly fun. And there was also on SmackDown, too, Daniel Bryan was on the phone kind of teasing, we'd love to see you lace up your boots for the Ladies Royal Rumble, blah, blah, blah. And Kurt
Angle was doing that on Raw, too. Or maybe they both did it. I don't know.
I don't know. Fucking, it all blends together.
It really does. So, yeah, but there's definitely going to be some surprises on both sides of the Rumble. Obviously, they always do surprises.
They do.
But, I mean,
I like that they're teasing it.
Right.
Though.
As of right now, the Women's Rumble has 16 official people in the match, and the men's is up to 11 right now. So we got time. I mean, I think last year there was probably they only had the one men's Rumble last year, but I think they had like 24 or 25 announced. So there was room for plenty of surprises going into
lots of fun
last year's Rumble. Let's kind of do a quick little preview of this mixed match challenge coming up next week. We don't know any brackets or anything. All we know are the teams, and so it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown tournament style here. I don't know if they're just doing 1 or 2 matches per week. It's only going to be like a 20-minute deal, so that leads me to think that it's only going to be maybe 1 match per show.
16 weeks, they said.
So something like that. So, and it is it's 6 teams from each show, so 12 total teams. So so Natalya is teaming up with Nakamura. So interesting that they've done several versions of heel and babyface teaming up on this thing, which is kind of interesting there. Elias teaming up with Bayley since we
didn't talk about that.
Yes, Samoa Joe was knocked out, got a foot injury. It'll be interesting to see if he'll still be able to, because he declared that he is going to be in the Royal Rumble on Monday Night Raw. But the question is will he be rehabbed and ready to go in time for the Royal Rumble, because there was probably a big story in there somewhere. The Miz teaming with Asuka is an odd pairing, but interesting nonetheless. Charlotte teaming up with Bobby Roode, and fucking Byron Saxton had the... I actually kind of liked that. I actually popped for a Byron Saxton line, the Robe Warriors.
Well,
there.
I don't know if it was Byron Saxton line, because they tweeted out a picture of each other in each other's robes with Robe Warriors as their name.
Okay,
so I think there was something they tweeted out.
He definitely definitely said it on SmackDown, and Corey
Yeah.
Graves was like, that was the stupidest idea ever.
What does that mean?
I want to see. You know how Rude has the turntable that he makes his entrance on. I want to see in sync turntables for the both of them, like spinning around. I think that would be really cool. Nia Jax teaming up with Apollo Crews, as we talked about a few minutes ago. That should be very fun. Jimmy Uso teaming with Naomi. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Weird.
I like that. Speaking of weird, Braun Strowman teaming up with Alexa
I
Bliss.
love it.
Love it.
That's
Braun and Bliss, baby.
That'll be cool.
I really hope he just, at one point, just walks in with her on his shoulders.
There you go. Or vice versa.
That'd be just as impressive. Yeah.
Sasha Banks teaming up with Finn Balor. I wanted to see Finn and Bayley. That was something that was
everyone wanted
teased
that.
online, and so that's but this one should be good too, because I think they both have a good amount of swagger between the two of them. So
Yep.
I think that'll be good. Rusev teaming up with Lana.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's I'm actually glad they're doing that.
Oh, for sure,
So,
yeah.
But I think Uso and Naomi is cooler, but I like this. It should be interesting. Carmella and Big E. Did you see
Yes.
the pancake competition, the training session online? That was amazing.
Absolutely. They loved which member of the New Day they announced. It was big. They had a box of Bootios, and Daniel Bryan pulled it out. And it's gonna be a fun team there.
Becky Lynch teaming up with Sami Zayn. Again, another heel babyface thing. It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works out there. And then Alicia Fox and Goldust.
That's a perfect team. Let's be honest here.
Golden
not?
Fox.
Crazy like a fox and
I'm not
gold
mad at
dust.
it.
No, not at all. All right, let's get into some NXT. Change the subject. So, after a 1-week hiatus, NXT was back on the air. I didn't get a chance to watch the 2-hour best of special, but I did.
It's very minor.
And I won't watch it.
I did read up on it, and it sounds like the Drew McIntyre versus Adam Cole from San Antonio with special guest referee Shawn Michaels. Good house show match, but nothing to go out of your way
beg
for.
to differ. It was kind of disappointing. Like it was just pretty much like a spot fest, and send the crowd home happy because of the people
that's
they
a
saw.
house show match. Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of disappointing to me because I was like, oh, cool, finally get to see it, and I was like, it wasn't really anything special whatsoever. But I don't know if that's your thing. Go watch it. But
Undisputed Era is out there taking
half
super
of
kicks.
NXT, but I guess Ember Moon had a really good thing on there.
Yeah,
which I did want to see.
I did see that too. That there was a longer video package on the rise of Ember Moon that looked pretty good. So
Longer package.
that might be worth looking out. Come on, Moon.
Oh, man, dude, that's gross.
So we had that. We had the news that TM61 is going to return next week. That was talked about on the big show last week, and they announced that Adam Cole will be taking on Aleister Black at TakeOver Philadelphia the weekend of the Royal Rumble.
Cool.
All right, so this week on NXT we had the debut of Shayna Baszler taking on also the NXT debut of Dakota Kai coming out of the Mae Young Classic. I was hoping honestly for a nice little push of Dakota Kai coming out of the Mae Young Classic, but she was perfect in this role against Shayna Baszler. It was Shayna Baszler being the bully heel. They showed that video of her going up to students at the Performance Center practicing submissions, and she chokes out one of the students. So she's playing.
Dakota Kai was in the ring for that too. She was teaching the move.
Okay, so yeah, that played into why she was the opponent here for the Baszler debut. So I like, she's playing the bully heel. She's working that catch wrestling style that the UK guys have been making more popular. So she's working that into her repertoire, which I like. They kept this short, and she just basically stomped the shit out of Dakota Kai's elbow.
Brutal, man.
And they showed it 100 times, and it was brutal every time, and it looked great. And the way Dakota Kai sold it was amazing. She cried and bawled, and the referee stopped the match, and it was spectacular.
Howard when she came after her after that.
And then she goes to choke her out after the match. Ember Moon comes out, makes the save. chases Shayna Baszler away. The way Shayna Baszler kind of sold like, hey, it's cool, man. I ain't doing shit. I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here. That shit-eating grin with the mouth guard in, she does that so well.
Right.
Shayna Baszler, yes, is green, but the things that they're having her do, the little catch wrestling stuff, just stomping the shit out of somebody's elbow, working the sleeper, and just, being that shit-eating heel is a really good spot for her to be in. I thought she performed greatly. Dakota Kai selling that fucking elbow smash, and then Ember Moon just being pissed off and coming out and getting in her face. I thought elevated Baszler to a nice spot.
Oh yeah.
Authors of Pain speak.
Yes, they do.
And they want their title shot. So they want to face whoever's going to be the next tag team champions, because the main event was supposed to be the Undisputed Era versus Sanity, which we'll get to because it didn't really happen because the Undisputed Era beat up Sanity in the back.
They beat up Eric Young.
That Authors of Pain promo made me so happy, not just because they spoke, but just because it felt like just a 80s pro wrestling promo in the back of just
in
like,
your face.
we want to go back about I don't know what the fuck they were saying, but it was just like they were maniacs. It's like they felt like just two monsters, and you got Ellering coming up, spouting his poison. So it was awesome, dude.
Because they have not said anything up to this point. It was a typical kind of 80s pro wrestling promo, which typically I don't like. But again, since we haven't seen them speak, it stood out. Like, oh my god,
those guys! I don't want to hear them speak much though. Like they're
exactly
the ass
it.
whoopers. They're the muscle. Like that's what Ellering is there for.
An 80s promo would go 2.5, 3 minutes, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior style, whereas they kept it to like 30 seconds, and they're like, boom, done.
Well, actually, that's what I liked about 80s promos, is that they were short, quick, to the point. Mean Gene was there interviewing them, and if it was bad, he would get him the fuck out of there. So, but yeah, again, every 80s promo was basically, let me tell you something, I'm going to get you back in the ring, back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then I'm going to get my title back, you son of a gun. Sometimes that was every 80s promo, basically. But yeah, it was definitely that vibe, but it felt like an updated version, because they were kind of going in and out of the speaking foreign language and then coming into English, and then Ellering doing his thing, which was cool. But then later we had the Street Profits just making a bunch of noise back in the hallway, and then they decided, oh, there's Regal's office, let's go in there. Apparently they were taping their YouTube show or something like that. That was the angle. That's why the camera was there, because they were just taping themselves for fun. So they respectfully go into Regal's office. It was nice because Regal, he had a bunch of bottled water there because the air is awful dry.
And they knocked on the door, Joe.
And it was very nice of Regal to offer some water to the Street Profits. They didn't need any, thank goodness. But they want the Street Profits. They said, we're undefeated. We want an opportunity. So Regal has made the #1 contenders match versus the Authors of Pain next week. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, that should be a cool match.
Strong answer from them. Just cool.
But I like the Street Profits just hanging out in the back, making a shit ton of noise. Yeah. That was just
that's their thing. They're the party gimmick. All eyes on us.
Cassius Ohno versus Raul Mendoza. Raul. This was an unexpected but very fun, good match.
Ohno. You've been saying that every Raul Mendoza match.
Well, and even every Ohno match, I think. I mean, Ohno's kind of got a bad rep for not looking the best, not having the best gear. But when he gets in there and puts on a fucking match, it's a hell of a show. So I enjoyed this match, and Ohno needed a win. He got one here. It's a nice competitive match with Raul. So it was nice to see him getting the win with the high-tension elbow strike.
High-tension elbow strike.
Raul. Zelina says Almas knows what it takes to stay a champion now, and says that Gargano didn't earn his spot to take on the champion, and we already beat Gargano twice. So I like Zelina talking some shit there, and Gargano getting in there. What was the thing with Gargano and Regal later on? It was Velveteen Dream. That's what it was.
Yeah, VD.
Velveteen Dream coming in. He knows it. He knows it.
The Dream.
I know it.
The Dream knows it.
But yeah, the Velveteen Dream was talking about how it was a fluke how Gargano got a win. So Velveteen Dream's kind of sliding in here. He's going to get there's something going on here with Velveteen Dream sliding into the Gargano part of the story here. So I don't know if there's going to be a match between those two on the road to TakeOver, which I wouldn't be mad at that.
Nope.
I think Gargano could use another big victory and a nice showcase between those two. And I don't think Velveteen Dream would lose anything in a good competitive Johnny Gargano style match. So I hope
after the match he's had,
and I hope that they do something like that on the way to TakeOver.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see. The Lio Rush versus Lars Sullivan, of course, was a fun burial.
Lars.
We hadn't seen Lio Rush since the infamous tweet about Emma getting a release from WWE, and this could certainly come across as a quote burial of Lio Rush. But I thought it was a fun match. They're definitely pushing Lars Sullivan right now, and this is a fine spot for Lio Rush right now. Go out there and make Lars look like $1 million.
Lars.
Any other thoughts on the Lio Rush stuff?
Just at the end, Lars cutting the promo on Killian Dane, and that just and that makes me happy. And that ugly ass smile he put on his face. I'm so excited for that fucking match.
Fuck yeah.
Then finally, the Undisputed Era attacks Sanity in the back. They come out and gloat in the ring, and Nikki Cross is so mad. Nikki Cross is like the unsung hero, the star of fucking Sanity. She was so mad that the referees saw how mad she was, and immediately, when she came out of the curtain, they were holding her back already. That's how upset that she was. She probably stormed across the entire locker room. The referees probably been trying to restrain her for half of the hallway in the back, and she finally makes it to the stage.
Adam Cole fucking hissing at her, just
yes. That was really good. Regal comes out and says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to have a match anyway. Roderick Strong throws his name into the hat, and Aleister Black, of course, seeking revenge for the loss that caused by Adam Cole in the four-way match. So we had the match between those guys. Undisputed Era got the win. They pinned Roderick Strong because Aleister Black is busy chasing Adam Cole, who's not part of the match. He's chasing him up the stands and allowing Undisputed Era to get the win over Roderick Strong. I thought it was good. Strong got the hot tag in the match, went fucking crazy. He countered the Bobby Fish's axe and smash with a vicious-looking jumping knee. Roderick. Let's talk about Roderick Strong. I mean, I know you got some opinions on him, Joe, but they kind of keep telling the same story with him. But when he gets in that ring, it's just like, wow.
It's unbelievable.
I think they just need to give him his push is going to, or he's going to get over wrestling, not telling that same old sob story over and over again. But I think a possible heel turn might do him some good too. But where are you on Roderick Strong right now?
I don't care anymore. I've heard it so many times. Like I said, it's a sob story. I understand he had it rough coming up. Like, he had to work his fucking ass off to get where he is. And I'm not putting anything down. He's got no personality for me, at least wrestling wise. He's not putting off any energy. It's just, hey, I want this title shot, so you should give it to me. And I need more. I need just a little bit more. And like you said, a heel run I think would just help, but I don't know if he needs to have edge in his voice if he's going to be a heel. He needs to have something. He can't just be like, hey, and then kick him, and then be like, yeah, I did that.
It's just he's very Gargano-like, just very, short black hair, white guy, great wrestling moves, just
racist.
Gargano is a screaming, oozing personality.
And Gargano's got that babyface fire too, and that you never give up on him when he's in the wrestling.
It seems like Roderick should have the underdog story. He needs that story that Gargano's been going through of just constantly losing since the Ciampa incident, and then now he's in the main event title picture. It seems like that should have almost been Roderick's story, but
I think Roderick needs to win more than like Gargano got over, or stayed over rather, in his losses, where I think Roderick needs some signature wins.
It just needs a mouthpiece or something to,
that wouldn't hurt either. Yeah,
because I really enjoyed that poor me story at first. Tell their stories. I'm always for that.
But then when they rerun
capitalize it on it, and show how why he's where he's at right now. So be like, but his backstory sucks. It's like, yes, we know that was old. He's a badass. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up then. A couple of quick plugs before we get out of here. SLTDwrestling.com, single leg takedown wrestling with the fundamentals. But you got to get over there because there's a lot of fun fan articles, fantasy league, predictions
I really love
league.
that fantasy league. I think it's going to be starting next. Is it starting for the Rumble here?
I haven't looked into it too much yet because I'm not a big fantasy guy. But I know it's something you're very interested in, Joe.
Yeah,
so.
I skipped fantasy football the last 2 years, so like the fact that I'm getting like almost like a monthly or maybe even more times than a month of being able to just pick matches. I mean, it's just fun, go crazy.
So lots of fun stuff over there. Again, SLTDwrestling.com. You can find this podcast there. And we've been talking about maybe doing some other podcasting stuff exclusively for SLTD. So nothing concrete yet, but just something to look forward to coming up in 2018. So we'll look for that, as well as thefanspodcast.com. If it hasn't dropped by now, it will be up shortly. We did a Wrestler 3-wind where we pick one wrestler, watch 3 random matches. This week's episode is going to be Ric Flair. So check that out over on thefanspodcast.com. Again, Wrestler 3-wind. So check out the show's Twitter at BPW Podcast, at BPW Podcast for Twitter's Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email the show, join the conversation, give us your opinions, ask some questions, whatever you got, all of those places. Follow me on Twitter and join the conversation at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can find me, Joe, at JoeBBWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast. Thanks again for checking out the show. Bye.
Peace.
Shut up! What I said was, stop talking. This matchup is now anything goes.
Titus Worldwide! You done flapped the wrong jack, sucker!
You guys suck.
And then, what was I going to say? The,
Haha Quindex?
yeah, I guess so. Damn it, I was on such a good roll there, too. 19 minutes in to where I have to edit this time.